that project.
I loved
horror,
it. I was
of
like,
course.
thank you so much for including me on this.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Do you have any other like stunts that you had to do for it, or was it just
Basically, it was like slamming the door, and he was like, "Oh, you can like bang on it a little bit." I said, "Nuh-uh, I'm taking it to the next level," and I'm like slamming my body.
I know you create a lot of films and a lot of screenwriting scripts and
Yes.
whatever. Do you have like any other experiences that were kind of like if you were on set and you had to do something crazy, or someone had to, I don't know, jump into the lake or do something?
Nothing like that, but there was one film that was like for a 48-hour film fest where I had to get on a skateboard and fall face first.
Oh.
And we had to do that a couple times, and it had just rained, so the sidewalk was all gritty and all that, so it hurt
Yeah.
after a while, but that was probably the craziest I did.
I'm glad everyone survived that
Yes.
one. Well, thank you to everyone who submitted photos for us to talk about tonight. It was so cool to see what you have all been up to recently. If you'd like to submit your own snapshot, you can DM them to our new Instagrams at smile_WTOP10, or you can email them to our email, smilewtop10@gmail.com. On our Instagram, we also have a form where you could submit those photos linked in our bio. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can all submit for next episode. So thank you again so much, Erin, for joining us here tonight. I really enjoyed interviewing you, learning more. I hope you all at home learned stuff as well. Any final thoughts? Quick thoughts?
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate this as a last opportunity.
Well, thank you to my wonderful crew as always. I always appreciate your help, and thank you to you all watching at home. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with us here tonight. I hope you can join us again in 2 weeks for a different look at a different guest story. I know it's going to be an exciting one. I hope to see you here again soon, and do not forget to smile because you're on camera. Have a good night, everyone.
Tonight on WTOP 10 Nightly News, Oswego students win the highest recognition in the SUNY system, the award, and who the students are.
And the Student Association election is happening now. How to cast your vote and more.
Plus, Micron officials met in Oswego today. More about the meeting.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Ryan Skinner.
And I'm Amani Dela Cruz.
Earlier tonight, Micron officials met in Oswego County to discuss the company's plans to build a semiconductor fabrication plant in Clay. Micron's Chief People Officer, April Arnzen, was joined by Mayor Billy Barlow and the college's officer in charge, Mary Toll.
With us tonight, our own WTOP 10 reporter, Riley Jones, was at the event hours ago and is here to discuss what he saw. Hi, Riley.
Hi, Amani. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Let's get right into the questions. Can you tell us why Micron representatives were on campus tonight?
Well, like you guys mentioned, the company Micron is building a $100 billion semiconductor in the town of Clay. That comes shortly after the CHIPS and Science Act had been approved on the federal level. What that act did, it gave $52 billion to companies similar to Micron and allowed them to kind of start up new places, new factories and new semiconductors in the country of America.
What did the mayor of Oswego, Billy Barlow, have to say?
Billy Barlow, I spoke with him personally. He was absolutely thrilled about the opportunity. He did want to clarify, very specially, with a short speech that he gave, that the plant is happening. He said that he heard a lot of people talk of, oh, if it happens, if it works out. He wanted to make it very clear that the plant is coming. He called it a once-in-a-3-generation opportunity. So Mayor Barlow is extremely excited about this.
Another question, did anybody mention the benefits that Micron coming to the central New York region will have on Oswego students?
Well, yeah, they said that there were all sorts of different opportunities for all types of young people. They already have camps and opportunities to empower younger high school students, and they are even starting a new camp that is going to go even younger than that to sort of get young people interested in the field of semiconductors and technologies, things like that. I spoke with Christy Eck, who is a SUNY Oswego representative. I spoke with her briefly, and she was also very excited and said that there were a lot of opportunities for students to take part in.
For SUNY Oswego students who are not engineers are also great opportunities to work for Micron. Technology majors, physics majors, chemistry, biology, business majors. There's room for all at the table. And if you're curious, you're capable, you're coachable, and you're willing to really pursue a great opportunity.
Thanks, Riley, for joining us tonight. We'll have the latest for you in Micron News as you hear it.
Elections for the Student Association president are open today and will remain open until tomorrow at 4 p.m. The two nominees for president are Dylan DeCenzi and Austin Davis. Go to the Laker Life website to vote for who you want in charge of these important decisions.
4 SUNY Oswego students are being recognized as recipients of the 2023 SUNY Chancellor Awards for Student Excellence. The award is the highest such recognition within the state system and acknowledges outstanding accomplishments both in and out of the classroom. The recipients are Caitlin Flynn, Brooke Goodman, Caitlin Jesmonth, and Jessica Militelio. They were among 193 students recognized.
Tech students are participating in a very clean project, soap. Students in the Tech Ed Manufacturing course have been working all semester to create and sell soap. They can be brought in 3 different scents, including lemongrass, lavender, and orange eucalyptus. Students in the course say that the project was difficult at times, but very rewarding.
It's been a fun process, but as Matt can attest, it was a pretty difficult start to get it going. And the design, getting past the design process and into actually making it.
We had to test a lot of different soaps. We had a lot of failures in the beginning, but we learned a lot from it, which was fun, but a pain in the butt.
All the money from the soap is going right back to the students, as they have been putting in a lot of their own time, money, and effort into the project. If you're interested in getting your own bar of soap, they will be sold at a table by Fusion in Shinneman tomorrow.
Timothy Kerwin is Oswego City Court's newest judge. Yesterday, Kerwin was sworn in by State Supreme Court Justice Greg Gilbert, who says he's confident that Kerwin will do right by the people of Oswego. Kerwin took office today handling criminal cases, small claims, commercial claims, summary proceedings, and misdemeanor traffic violations.
One person was left injured after an SUV collided with a Greyhound bus last night. The bus, which was trying to turn around to avoid colliding with a bridge that was about a mile away, was struck by the SUV on the Onondaga Lake Parkway around 8:30. All lanes were closed for about an hour on both sides. Nobody was killed, and the driver of the bus was issued an overheight vehicle ticket for being on the parkway.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Evan Bergeron. Evan?
Earlier today, the sun was shining. It was a beautiful day outside. Here was the sunset just a couple short hours ago. Beautiful sunset. Multiple people were outside taking in the views. But the sunset won't be sticking around for long for multiple other days because we do have some rain showers moving into our area as you get closer to the weekend. But for tonight, we did have a mostly clear sky, 44 degrees for your low. So make sure to get outside as much as possible tonight because you won't have time to do this much longer. But first, back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up, Russian missiles attacked Ukraine early this morning.
Plus, residents in the southern U.S. are at risk of damaging winds, large winds, and possible tornadoes. What you need to know.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Welcome back to WTOP 10. I'm your Chief Meteorologist, Evan Bejan. Here's a quick look at tonight's low temperatures. We can't see all the way in western New York. Buffalo, you are at 44 degrees. Here in Oswego, just a little bit lower at 42 degrees. As you head towards Syracuse, 43 degrees. Overall, most of New York State is about the upper 30s, low 40s. This will be sticking around through most of the week, even into the weekend. And as we look for our stargazing forecast, for any of you who want to go out stargazing, the moon is about 51% full, so you get a good view of the moon tonight. Beautiful stargazing conditions as you go into the morning hours. The planets, though, maybe Mars is the only one, or Venus is the only one that's visible tonight. Mars, Saturn, maybe just a little bit, and Jupiter and Mercury. There's really no chance of seeing those planets tonight. And looking for our garden cast for tomorrow, we can see starting at 9 a.m. chilly conditions, but mostly sunny skies. But as you go throughout most of the day, we can see increasing cloud cover. And as you get closer to nighttime hours, around 9 p.m., there is a chance of rain. Most of the rain will be impacting our area, though, as you go into the weekend, closer to next weekend. So maybe tomorrow, if you want to take in just a little bit of sun rays we have left, we will have a high of around 64, increasing clouds again towards sunset. So if you want to get outside, maybe do that around the midday hours, maybe even early evening. But as you get closer to the nighttime hours when the sun's starting to set, we will see more rain chances in our area. And looking at our 7-day forecast, we can see on Friday, mild, high of around 64 degrees. Saturday, 55 degrees. That's when our rain chances will start to increase. Sunday, again, this will be our best chance for some rain, as we do have some moderate rain that will be moving into our area. Those temperatures, though, will stay about the mid-60-degree mark, and our low will be around low 40s. And as we go through most of early next week, we can see those temperatures start to level off about the low 50s, with those lows also leveling off about the low 40s. And as we go through most of later next week, we can see the sun start to return, but those rain showers may be sticking around the area as you go into next weekend. But those mild temperatures will start to return as temperatures start to rise. But even here in Oswego, as we see our own chances of rain, many residents in southern Texas and Louisiana into the Florida Panhandle are at risk for large hail, damaging winds, and possible tornadoes. The same storm system that caused widespread damage yesterday. Laura Aguirre reports.
We went through 2 hurricanes last year, and this does not compare to either one of them, maybe even both put together.
Hail as large as softballs from the Florida Panhandle over to southern Texas. Many are assessing damage from Wednesday's wind-driven hail that battered property like cannonballs.
We lost half of our, the top 2 are lanai and our gutters on both sides, and I have some windows broken in the back and hail damage to my car.
One Florida middle school's courtyard buried in hail, looking more like a blanket of snow. This bull in Texas trying to escape the onslaught. His owner says he made it to safety.
This is insane.
The Storm Prediction Center is forecasting large hail, heavy rain, strong winds, and possible tornadoes for the same region of southern Texas through most of Florida into Thursday evening. In the Midwest, pumps along the rising Mississippi River are working around the clock. Melting snow runoff has pushed the river over its banks and into towns from Wisconsin to Minnesota for days.
Like most small towns, we've managed to do all of the sandbagging and so forth with volunteer help.
All of the gates along Dubuque, Iowa's massive flood wall are now closed. The river is expected to crest there Saturday, while many other towns may not see relief until next week.
We have weathered the storm. We'll wait for the water to recede and see what kind of damage we have.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Equal Rights Amendment failed to advance in the Senate. The resolution to remove the deadline for ratification of the proposed amendment to the Constitution failed in the Senate today, 51-47. Although it had 2 Republican co-sponsors, most GOP senators opposed it, arguing that the amendment is not needed because of equal protections to women in the 14th Amendment. Supporters say the Equal Rights Amendment would ban discrimination on the basis of sex and guarantee equal rights for all under the Constitution.
U.S. Senator Tim Scott says he is still considering a presidential run. The South Carolina Republican told Fox News he will decide if he is entering the race at the end of May. Scott already announced an exploratory committee for president earlier this month. Scott told Fox News that he could beat Biden, who announced his re-election bid this week. Scott has been reluctant on speaking about frontrunner Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump.
A Russian missile attack in the city of Mykolaiv killed at least 1 person and injured 23, according to Ukrainian authorities. They say the attack launched in the early hours this morning from the Black Sea and targeted civilian buildings. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed the attack on his Telegram channel, calling it, quote, yet another crime against humanity.
10 policemen were killed in an attack in the Indian state of Chhattisgarh on Wednesday. According to the state's chief minister, the policeman and the driver died in an explosion when they were on their way back from an operation against Maoist militants. It's believed that the militants are responsible for the attack, which it also condemned Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who sent out condolences to the victims' families.
Coming up, a peacock is on the loose in New York City.
But first, a lawsuit with Meta falls through.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Shine on that boy. Look at the bling. Look at do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep.
10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Here is your health and consumer report. A lawsuit looking to break up Facebook's parent company Meta won't be moving forward. The lawsuit was looking to break up Meta's previous mergers, including Instagram and popular texting app WhatsApp. The case did get very far because they were years late. While this is a win for Meta, it is a loss for those who consider Meta too influential in the media industry.
Samsung profits have taken a hit, dropping 95% today. Their profits fell to $479 million, their lowest in 14 years. Inflation and low demand is what Samsung says can be to blame for the lack of profits. Because of this, chip prices have plunged about 70% over the previous 9 months.
The CDC says 1 in 5 high school students in the U.S. have witnessed firsthand violence from people who aren't immediate family. The report frames these findings as a significant public health concern. Also found within the report, witnessing violence makes teens more likely to carry guns and engage in substance abuse.
You may have not heard of the name Raul, but the NYPD has. Raul is a peacock who escaped the Bronx Zoo and is giving authorities in New York City a run for their money. Raul has found a new home away from home in a tree. The zoo is now on the lookout for him.
Coming up in sports, Jared Wakefield.
Thank you very much, guys. It's a busy week over at the Laker Athletic Complex as well as on the ice in the 315. Don't go anywhere. Sports is next on WTOP 10.
Welcome back to Major Discussion.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Jared Wakefield here with your sports. Let's jump right in. We start dancing on the diamond tonight where Oswego baseball is hoping to return to the SUNYAC playoffs. Oswego currently sits in the 4th and final playoff spot ahead of rival Plattsburgh. Oswego simply needs to tread water as they have a 4-win advantage over the Cardinals. This weekend they'll host 3rd place, Oneonta, in a triple header. Oneonta enters this contest with the same 8-4 conference record as Oswego. First pitch is at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. tomorrow before a single Saturday matinee at 1 p.m. Sticking with Lakers sports, playoff lacrosse is coming to Oswego. Oswego State women's lacrosse will host round 1 of this year's SUNYAC Championship Tournament. It's a rematch from last year's first round against the Oneonta Red Dragons. In last year's battle, the Lakers were sunk by the Dragons by a final score of 14-12. These teams are both great at goal scoring. The Lakers deflated Oneonta 16-13 in this year's regular season matchup. This will be a competitive matchup. 5 of the last 10 matchups have been decided by 2 goals or less. That game will fire off at 5 on Saturday. Heading over to the hardwood in Madison Square Garden, where the New York Knicks are moving on to the Eastern Conference semifinals in the NBA playoffs. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 5 last night to secure a series victory by a final score of 106-95. Jalen Brunson, who's been the star of a transformational season for the Knicks, led the team with 23 points. It's the first playoff series win for the Knicks since 2013, where they beat the Boston Celtics in the first round before the Indiana Pacers ended their hopes in that year's semifinal. They will face the Miami Heat on Sunday at 1 p.m. in the first game of this year's conference semifinal. Let's bring it on home now to home ice, as now all 3 of Central New York's American Hockey League franchises continue their chase for this year's Calder Cup. The Syracuse Crunch already have a 2-game lead over the rival Rochester Americans in the best-of-5 North Division semifinal. Syracuse will travel to Rochester on Friday, looking to sweep the series in 3 and advance to the divisional finals. They could face a longtime rival in the Utica Comets as they open up their North Division semifinal series tonight against the Toronto Marlies. The Comets swept the Laval Rocket in the first round to face Toronto, the top-seeded team in the division. Game 1 is currently underway in Toronto, and Toronto just took the lead with 6 minutes left in the third period. They lead 5-4 in regulation. Let's head on over to the NHL now. The Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers facing off, and the Panthers a must-win game here in TD Garden in Boston. We start things off, and it's going to be the Panthers getting on the board early. Nice little sauce from Carter Verhaeghe over to Anthony Duclair. 1-0 Florida, in an absolutely beautiful play to open up scoring. Verhaeghe with a nice little sauce, and Duclair puts it right on the dish and beautifully played, and Duclair puts the Panthers up early. That's what they needed. The Panthers with an early advantage. We move to the second. Boston power play. Marchand gets it, a leaky goal, gets right through Sergei Bobrovsky, and Brad Marchand will tie it up for the Boston Bruins, and Charlie McAvoy able to find him from the point. We move to later in the second. Sam Bennett is going to take the lead back for the Florida Panthers. Bennett able to get that puck wide open, and this puck actually goes off a Bruin stick and over the glove of Ullmark, unable to get any leather on it, and the Panthers up 2-1 as we head into the third. Third period, Boston on a power play fairly early on, and it's going to be the captain, their captain, Patrice Bergeron. Nets a tip in from Brad Marchand. It's Patrice Bergeron's first game back from injury. He's missed the first 4 of this series so far, and Bergeron ties it up. Florida immediately goes to the power play less than a minute later. Sitting on it, Sam Reinhart, the former Buffalo Sabre, takes the lead right back in less than a minute, and Florida back to a 1-goal lead, assisted by Barkov and Tkachuk. Boston looking for a quick answer about halfway through the third period. Taylor Hall finds a loose puck and rifles it in, and the Garden is alight as Hall ties the game up. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to need bonus hockey to finish this one. A dump and chase by the Panthers. Misplay by Linus Ullmark, wide open, skate save Ullmark, but that's going to be wide open for Matthew Tkachuk, the sensation. Buries that one past Linus Ullmark. It's a 4-3 Florida victory. They force Game 6 in Florida. Sergei Bobrovsky, an incredible night, 44 saves on 47 shots. That's going to do it for tonight's sports. We can put that report in the books, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll say hello to our furry friend.
And it could be your last chance to see one occur for 2 decades, as the next time one will be visible over the continental U.S.
He's May 84. Yarrow told police in the hospital that he had pressed the doorbell and waited.
They mix with oxygen and nitrogen and can briefly
What's going on?
Yeah, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
no.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30? Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man. Whoa. Did you know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up with that one.
Matthew,
Broadcast news.
look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to
I'm Al Roker,
WTOP
class
10
of
Nightly News.
76, yeah.
Before we say goodbye tonight, we have our Pet of the Week.
Everyone say hello to Nova.
She brings with her a big furry coat, but that won't slow her down.
She is a friend to all, but is especially to her brother from another mother, Como.
If you or someone you know would like to adopt, you can go to the Oswego Humane Society for more information.
Isn't she so beautiful? She's gray and so full of
kitty.
color.
Yeah, absolutely. So after that, Kat, I mean, what do you got with the sports tonight? Anything going on tonight?
Oh, goodness. I mean, there's a lot going on. And if you're a Utica Comets fan, I'm sorry. It looks like the Mara is going to take this one. About 4 minutes left in the third in the Coca-Cola Arena up there, just down the road from Scotiabank where the Leafs play. And the Marlies lead 5-4. Not a great night for Utica. Goaltender, New Jersey Devils prospect Nico Dawes. Over in the NHL, not a good night for the Leafs either. Kind of a Game 7 feel. They really needed to win this Game 5 to try and lock it down over the Lightning. The Lightning lead 3-1 right now. The Rangers down to the Devils 3-0 as the Devils look to take a 3-2 series lead.
Yeah, absolutely crazy tonight. Shesterkin letting in 3 goals. I mean, it's 0-3. We got to get some offense on the board. As a Rangers fan, I'm hoping that we can get something going there. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Is Shesterkin just lagging today?
I don't know. The Devils, I believe, started Akira Schmid tonight, and Schmid has played very, very well for the Devils. And, you know, as we saw kind of last night, you know, Linus Olmark had a bit of a rough night, but your defense has to be there. And there are a few situations where Boston's defense crumbled. And Sergei Bobrovsky, I mean, a couple of those Boston goals probably shouldn't have gone in, and that's on the defense.
As for the weather for this week, for those games, what is it looking like, Evan?
We can see a lot of rain showers moving to our area, so any outdoor games, you may want to postpone those because our greatest chance of rain is on Sunday, but I wouldn't rule out any moderate showers on Saturday. And those high temperatures, about 55 and 62 degrees. Good for outdoor weather, but as for the rain, not so much great for outdoor sports.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to getting warmer. That's our report for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
And welcome back to The Bigger Picture. I'm Kiara Montero.
And I'm Matthews Frank. Here at The Bigger Picture, we're all about recognizing organizations on campus that you may have never heard of. So, Ozfest is coming up, y'all. Ozfest is literally next week.
I hope you guys got your tickets because what are we going to be? We're going to be outside. Enjoying good music, good tunes, and then also like a whole day full of events. I feel like that's a really good way to kind of like ease into finals week, kind of helping students get their mental health together, uplift them before we're just drowning in finals.
Yeah, because me personally, the day of Ozfest is like a field day for us. We have the little fake carnival set up, the free food, Party Next Door. Like, I'm excited for Party Next Door.
No,
like,
yeah, me too.
At first when he was announced, I was like, okay, cool, Party Next Door. But as we get closer to it, I'm like, yo, we're getting Party Next Door. Hold on.
Yeah.
So,
Fun fact, actually, my housemate, I'm not really good with music on my own, so my housemate puts like playlists together. So she has a playlist for me, and she's been putting a bunch of Party Next Door songs, so she's getting me ready for the concert. So if you guys see me there on the concert floor, don't be surprised because I've been prepping.
It was just like last year with Ari Lennox. Like, I only need like one Ari Lennox song, but it was like the vibe of being in a concert. Like, that was an actual concert. It was like,
good.
yeah, it feels good. It feels like a celebrity's right in front of you.
That's actually one of my goals for like 2023. I want to go to more concerts because I've noticed like in the past with like the 1 or 2, 3 concerts that I have been to, it's just a very free spirit feeling, and I feel like everyone deserves that. And the fact that the school kind of provides us that for the last day of classes, I feel like that's pretty dope.
But you know, you just mentioned that that's the last day of classes, which means our time in Oswego is coming up.
It's ticking.
Yep.
Graduation's right there.
Yep. So I feel like this is a great segue into talking about like who are we really going to miss the most leaving Oswego? Like, who were those faculty members that were there for us through thick and thin?
Well, I have two, and there's two different, like, I guess, aspects of it. So definitely my APC advisor from EOP, Scott Cunningham, literally one of my best friends since I've been on this campus. Like, I feel like there's very limited people that are, you know, there for you on, like, as a student. And then also Francisco Suarez, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
I just love being in his classes. I feel like his classes always validated that I'm in the right major, and it's very hands-on. How about you?
For me, I have a whole list of people. I have, now I'm blanking out. Okay, so I have from the EOP office, Valerie. Much love. I also have Miss Magdalena Rivera. She's been like every time I overthink or panic, she's always there for me to like tell me like, you're good, you got this. Also, Michael Pastella, he's the same thing as Maggie. Like, both of them keep me like solid and make sure that like I'm not overthinking too much.
Especially because you're involved in the Lana orgs.
So many Lana orgs, but they've been helping me. Like, they're the reasons why I keep on going with Lana orgs. And then I feel like last will definitely be Miss Roberta Hurtado. Like, she's my advisor for my minor, but even before she was my advisor for my minor, she was like a big reason why I joined LSU. Because she was the advisor at the time, so it was like...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got me into it, yeah.
Okay. So actually, in tonight's episode, we are going to be meeting with another great faculty of the Oswego community. Stay tuned. Before we even get into that, we're going to talk about some upcoming events that you should attend if you find yourself looking for plans.
So, you guys remember that one episode with Image, the Big Steppers, right? So... Their Stomp the Oz showcase is slowly approaching. By slowly, we mean tomorrow night. Join the Image Step team tomorrow night at 6:30 in the Morano Campus Center Arena for a fun night of stepping and plus a bunch of more performances. Plus a great host, I heard. Tickets are now live. They're running out. Please be sure to get yours. I got mine. You got yours, Kiara.
I sure
We're
did.
going to be there. So we hope to see you guys all there tomorrow night in the MCC Arena.
I heard the Bigger Picture co-host is going to be performing.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, join the Latino Student Union and the African American Male Empowering Network as they present their second annual field day happening this Friday at 3 p.m. in the field right behind Lee Hall. Drinks and snacks will be sold along with the reveal of a new e-board and the presentation of stoles to the graduating seniors.
Oh, but wait, there's more. There's so much more. Okay. This Saturday, join the Latino Student Union as they present their annual barbecue happening this Saturday again from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at Lakeside Commons. Free food, entertainment, games, all of that will be provided, as well as a new e-board being revealed and the presentation of stoles to the graduating seniors. Please get your free ticket on the Latino Student Union Eventbrite site in order to eat.
So, I know you guys heard it a lot. This Saturday, campus is the place to be. So, also happening this Saturday, we have the Caribbean Student Association presenting their annual Backyard Jam inside the Deborah F. Stanley Arena and Convocation Hall. This event, there will be a performance by Caribbean artist QQ, as well as scenes depicting a Caribbean wedding. So, regular tickets at the moment are $15, and ticket plus food packages are $20. So, don't miss out on that.
Yep. We'll be there as well. We'll be everywhere this weekend. But stay tuned for After Break as you'll be joined by a very, very, very familiar face from the Oswego community.
Who is it gonna be?
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We're here for you, we're here for you. with sports and news and what to do. We're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTOP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTOP.
La 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 la.
Free.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Freeze. Welcome back. Tonight we are joined by Lisa Evaneski. She is the Title IX coordinator here at SUNY Oswego. She has worked in higher education for over 34 years, serving primarily in Title IX, student conduct, new student orientation, and residence life. Title IX is also in charge of SUNY Oswego It's on Oz. It's on Oz is an organization prevention of sexual and interpersonal violence at SUNY Oswego. They host a number of workshops, volunteer opportunities, and community services.
Welcome, Lisa.
Yes, thank you for coming.
So happy to be here.
A long-awaited episode. I just want to say that.
So let's jump right into the questions.
Do it.
So first question up is, so many students know who you are, and we see your face every day, and we love to see you. So let's hear about your upbringing and your story.
Oh boy, my story. Well, I in college was an RA. You want to hear like way back? Way back. Okay, let's go way back. I was born in Oakland, California.
Oh, wow.
Moved to New England with my family when I was about 13. Went to college and grad school in Boston.
Okay.
And then spent about 20 years of my career in Boston and surrounding suburbs. And then moved to New York back in 2007. Worked at another SUNY for a little bit of time, and then I started working here in 2008. My favorite job ever.
Wow, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
So for those who just may not be too familiar with Title IX, what role does it serve on all college campuses?
Sure, so yeah, Title IX is a federal law. Requires colleges to do certain things if there are reports of sexual and interpersonal violence. But there's also all kinds of other stuff we have to do, like prevention programming, training for staff that have certain responsibilities, just awareness raising all across campus so people know how to find me, who I am, what do I do, and what can I do to help you if something's happened.
So I know you mentioned you had worked in one other SUNY before Oswego. Yes. So before working at that SUNY, were you familiar with like Title IX coordination and job roles along those lines?
Right, good question. So Title IX really became a field back in 2011. It had always been in place since 1972, but it became a thing in 2011, and it's when Barack Obama and Joe Biden said, hey, colleges, you need to do a better job at this work, and they put out this thing called the Dear Colleague letter. That's really what kicked off Title IX. It wasn't really a thing before. It was a law, but it wasn't a field. It wasn't a profession like it is now.
And not prioritized how it is now in college campuses.
Yeah.
Okay. So how has your discovery of Title IX policies on college campuses led you to where you are today within your career?
So yeah, it was a really funny journey. I'd done some res life stuff and conduct and different roles in different campuses, and I actually was on the newly formed Title IX committee here, just helping with prevention work, helping with just figuring out policies. Do we have everything in place that we need? And then I just kind of became part of the team, and back in 2013 was named Title IX coordinator, and then moved to the president's office in 2015. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. A lot of people that are in Title IX come from either conduct, lawyers, or HR. That's where like most of the people started coming from. Now that it's a field, people I know, like even students here, kind of get into it and like want to pursue that as a career now. But it wasn't really a thing before. We kind of just literally fell into it.
So how was it like? So you did mention like you worked in res life or stuff like that. So how was that experience like from going from res life to Title IX?
Yeah, so
how did it prepare you too?
Yeah, it definitely prepared me. I think working in all the different functional areas I worked in, like orientation, not here on this campus, but res life, student conduct, those are all ways to like figure out how campus runs, what do students need, what are they kind of looking for support, really, how to survive what you're going through, right? Basically, it's hard. College is not easy. So I think all of that and having experience in Res Life and all those other departments really helped me prepare to be in this role, because if somebody needs help with some of those areas, I can help them get that connection.
Okay. And I would assume even now being on campus, you do a lot of work with residence halls. What are some other like departments that you work with on campus?
Yeah, so I work a lot with Res Life, you know, doing programs, doing training, but also helping student orgs kind of get things done, right? So doing workshops with them, you know, partnering, collabing in any way that they want to, you know, kind of help their students learn about Title IX, help them get their annual mandated training. You know,
I was just going to bring that up. Because, what else to say? Oh, yeah. I know from the organizations I'm a part of, we have to do those trainings, and I have to tell you, those trainings are like really important. Like they have a lot of information that my e-board at first, it was like, oh, do we have to do these trainings? And then when they do it, they're like, wait, okay, hold on. I see why we're doing it. And so, yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate those trainings. They come in handy.
Yeah, it's really important. We have done things very differently here than most other SUNYs and most other campuses across the country. We just went right into it and wanted to make prevention normal, make prevention fun. That's why we have so much swag, and you know, we're trying to be like, we want you to know this because we want you to be able to help your friends. And so that's really been a focus of what we do. Instead of just being like, you know, here's the federal stuff we have to tell you, we're trying to engage people, you know, in the activities.
The Kahoot games. I remember the Kahoot games.
Yes,
I remember
tons of prizes.
So I know you've mentioned you've done work with like student organizations. I know even WTOP does trainings with you as well. So what has been the biggest lessons you've learned from working with students, and what role do your interns even play in that success and the impact that you're creating on the campus?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think for me, you know, one size doesn't fit all is really one of the things I've learned is, you know, work with the orgs. What do you think your community needs? What do you think your students need? And really trying to tailor some things. We have some canned programs like Kahoot Trivia, but we also will modify anything and try and have discussions that are most meaningful to you. And the interns help with all aspects of prevention and training, so they will work with me to help create tabling activities or workshop activities, and then be there and help us kind of facilitate the conversations.
I love the fact that you mentioned how this school, a lot of departments, they tailor to what we need, and like they listen to us and they take notes of what we need. I mean, it even shows when we get those surveys we get on our email that asks us questions like, what do we need, what do we want? It literally helps. It comes out at the end like as a benefit for us. So that's a big important part right there.
They even post it on like the SUNY Oswego website. Recently, I'm an intern for OzPureEd, and like I was doing research for an outreach, and I saw that there was so many like resources and statistics on like I believe it was the College Climate Survey. And like these are things I believe go out annually as like SUNY as a whole. So even the fact that they're taking our experiences to kind of cater to the needs of the students and just to create a safer like space for us on campus. And I think one of my best rewarding experiences working, having a workshop with you was actually the one we arranged with WTOP. It was discussing like sex discrimination in the workplace and considering, you know, we want to go into the field of broadcasting, production. These are real life things that happen. So I feel like the workshops that we do with you kind of equip us onto how can we handle these situations, how do we advocate for ourselves, or even just changing that narrative now. I feel like it plays a really big role too.
And I think we also have looked into things like women in STEM, what are they dealing with? How can we prepare them? How do we prepare our men, you know, that are going into those fields to help them help the women in those fields, you know, because it really is, it's all of our problems, right? It's on all of us, as we always say, you know.
So before we jump into the next question, Yards for Yardley just passed, actually. So if you mind, for those who don't really know that much information about them, just give us a debrief of what's that about and all the work you put in for that event.
So Yards for Yardley, we did our first one in 2015? Yeah, 2015. And it actually was originally started, some students at 2 different campuses, not SUNY's, created this contest. They were trying to see who could get the most yards for Yardley. So Yardley Love was a student at UVA. She was killed in 2010, and then her family created the One Love Foundation, and that is where they help us educate. Some of these workshops we do came from them. And so one of my interns from 2015 said, we should do this thing. And it was like literally like end of April. And we had like 2 weeks to plan it, and we did it. And our goal was to try and get 1 million yards for Yardley in one day.
Wow.
And we got 1.67 million in one day.
And the fact that you guys had to put it together so
so fast,
spontaneously.
like it was like mid-April, I think. And then so every year since then, this past one was our 8th annual. Every year since then, we've been doing it. The most we ever got was 8+ million yards in one day. That's when we were doing the SUNY challenge. So we were like, Cortland will not win. We will win. So, but yeah, yesterday we did it. We had to go inside because it was cold and rain. But we did 1.74 million yards.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So my favorite question. So let's give you a little scenario. So if you had to sit down for lunch for any historical figure, activist, celebrity, whoever, who would that person be and why?
Oh, well, I probably have a different answer every year if someone asks me that question, but definitely Ruth Bader Ginsburg. RBG, notorious RBG.
Yeah.
She had done so much for women. I don't know if you know this, but like before she came around and helped fight for women's rights, women couldn't even get like their own mortgage or lease on an apartment without a cosigner from a husband or a parent. And so she put a lot of things in place in the workplace, a lot of things to give women's, to expand women's rights all over their lives. So I would love to talk to her about her youth and kind of how she got into it and how she got so much done. I think that would be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Kiara, do you have anybody you would like to go out for lunch with?
My answer is always the same, Bell Hooks. I love Bell Hooks. I feel like she really opened my mind to a lot of just like feminism and just speaking up against the patriarchy, trying to change that narrative for women like us, but also younger generations, for my little cousin, for, I was going to say my little sister, I don't have a little sister. But kind of just like being that person that we need. And I even to tie into that, I feel like the role you play or your interns play or like Ozpirates on campus, we have some type of activism in us because we're trying to like create that space for students on campus, kind of spark those conversations. So
yeah, I hear that a lot.
You are an activist here.
Well, yes.
So.
When students interview for our internships, we hear that a lot. Like I ask them, why Title IX? Why do you want to do this? And they'll say, I feel like this is something I should participate in. This is something I want to participate in. I've always wanted to get involved, but didn't know how.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like I change my answer to this question all the time, but right now, if it was up to me, there's this famous actor. She's in like all the Fast and Furious movies. What's her name? Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah, she's in all the Fast and Furious movies, and I would definitely go out to lunch with her just because she's a badass woman. I'm just gonna say
totally is.
She's a badass woman.
She's fierce.
She literally tells it how it is. And she will never let no man put her down. Like she will stand up for something. I like that about her.
Yeah,
and that's
she's amazing.
what we need. That's literally what we need.
Totally.
So we will actually continue this incredible conversation with our final questions after the break. So stay tuned.
Break.
To eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
we'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
And it could be your last chance to see one occur for 2 decades, as the next time one will be visible over the continental U.S.
He's May 84. Yarrow told police in the hospital that he had pressed the doorbell and waited.
They mix with oxygen and nitrogen and become briefly
Well, welcome back. We are joined by Lisa Evaneski, our campus Title IX coordinator. So for those who remember our very first episode, revamp of the Bigger Picture Oz Anonymous, I don't know, we were actually joined by student organization 2.5. So we really kind of just want to hear from you. What does that organization and its members mean to you?
Yeah, so I've been collabing with them for as long as I can remember doing this work, even when I wasn't Title IX. I think the work that they do is so important, bringing attention to, just even the stats. The name of 2.5 comes from, a stat from back when they first started. I think the work they do is incredible. I feel bad sometimes. They're doing so much good work. Like I feel like I should do it for them. But no, I think they're, really important. We try and collab every semester if we can, depending on our schedules and what we have going on. They've been incredibly supportive of my work, showing up for It's On Us Day, showing up for Yardley, even back when we were doing SUNY's Got Your Back. So I don't advise them, I don't supervise anything they do, but I 100% appreciate the work that they're doing. And even if they're, in a financial situation where they maybe ran out of money for their budget or whatever, I'm totally down for helping them, buy supplies if they need it, for an event or something. But yeah, very important organization. And so happy to continue to collab with them year after year.
What can those collaborations look like between your department and the 2.5 organization?
It varies. So sometimes I'll do specialized training for them. Sometimes we'll just show up at their events. I often list events, especially special events or traditions that they're doing, list them on my intern list of things to do. So they'll get hours for going and just supporting their programs. We also, we'll show up at, the Raise Your Voice, or we didn't this year because our schedules were messed up, but or the walks that they do, things like that. So it really just depends on what they have going on, what we have going on, but we 100% support the work they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So considering your work focuses on sexual and interpersonal violence, I'm sure you deal with a lot of heavy conversations on a daily basis. So this is the part where we ask, how does Lisa take care of Lisa?
Not very well currently. I just actually got approval to hire a person, so now I'm going to have a second person in my office, which we've never had. So that's a little bit pushing for that position. Is Lisa taking care of Lisa? This semester, I will say that I tried to structure. I used to have this thing where I would say, I don't say no, like to you guys, right? I'm like, of course I'll be there. I'm exhausted, but I'll be there, right? But I've been trying to structure a little bit better with my schedule. So if I know I have night stuff, I'll come in a little later, or work from home, so it doesn't feel like a longer day. But yeah, I'm working on that. I'm not perfect at it yet, but I'm definitely trying. For me, being there for our students that might be in crisis, it's so important. But I do have to take care of myself better. So that I'm trying. I'm trying, to balance out if I have night programs, just to maybe spend the mornings at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a work in progress. It is for a lot of us. So what resources are available to students on campus if they're not too familiar about it, but who may be experiencing some things that they're having a hard time speaking up about?
Sure. First of all, the most important thing I can tell anyone is if you want to meet with me, it's just a meeting. It's not a report. We're not going to tell your parents. We're not going to tell the police. We're not going to tell the dean. We're not going to tell your hall director. So that's the most important piece about the resources in my office. We can help people with their classes if something happened and they just need a little more time to finish something, or if they need an extension, on something, or an excused absence or something like that. We can help people with referrals to counseling or health services on or off campus. We can help people with financial pieces of things, right? So if something happens to someone and they lose a few shifts at work, we can maybe take some money from a fund and give them a little ease,
Oh, wow.
you know? Yeah. Wow. So there's so much we can do. Every case is different, but we can help people survive something horrible that happened.
I actually have a question because I actually learned recently that there's a difference between confidential and non-confidential people that you can talk to on campus. So would you be able to give a little bit of clarity about that for anyone watching at home?
The only official offices on this campus that can keep confidentiality are health services and counseling.
Yes.
Everyone else is what we call a private resource. So if you told me something happened, but you needed me to maybe get you a different room in Res Life, or, contact your supervisor and say, hey, please don't fire this person because they had a really legitimate reason for losing their shift. That makes me a private resource because I'm going to talk to someone without having a signed release.
Okay.
But most people on campus are what we call private resources. They're going to tell me what you told them, but they're not going to tell everyone else. But yeah, the only confidential resources we have on campus are health and counseling.
Okay.
I feel like a great way to wrap this episode up is if you can give one piece of advice to any student watching right now, what would that advice be?
Okay. This comes up a lot. I would say just ask for help. We have so much we can do to help you survive the semester without failed grades and without, lots of debt or whatever. Well, maybe not debt, but without, kind of tanking a whole semester. So ask for help, even if it's late, ask for help before the last day of classes, and there's some stuff we can do.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best things about having a resources like your office. So on behalf of everyone, we just want to thank you, and even just coming to talk to us today, you're continuing to make that impact in the campus community, just allowing people to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Everyone needs to remember that piece of advice, ask for help, because I'm one person who I struggle to ask for help, but sometimes it's necessary, so definitely ask for help.
Yeah.
But it's the end of tonight's episode, so we would like to thank Lisa Vanesky for joining us on tonight's episode of The Bigger Picture. Don't miss out on our farewell episode of The Bigger Picture happening on May 9th. As always, don't forget to see things through the bigger picture. See you guys
Good
later.
night, guys.
Hello world, my name is Mia Dirks and welcome back to our third episode of Smile You're on Camera. I'm so glad to see you joining us here tonight to discover another unique story. We have an exciting show planned, one that can give you a better look at a few of the things that go on behind the camera here at WTOP, along with a couple other things. I'll stop there for now. I don't want to spoil too much, but first I wanted to say thank you again for your time, for your support of this show and of our students here. I'm so glad we can go on this adventure together tonight. So I know last episode I may have previewed a certain guest, and don't worry, she'll be joining us in a future week, but we switched things up this time and we have a very special person joining us here tonight. She's a very important figure at WTOP, and if you tune into some of our other shows, you might have seen her make appearances here and there, hidden between the cuts. I'm so happy to have her add this show to her list of featured episodes as well. So without further ado, let's introduce Erin Blank. Erin, meet everyone, and everyone meet Erin.
Hello.
Hello. So I met Erin on a little show called Sports Talk a few semesters ago. You might know what that is. And we've worked together on crews ever since. I may have mentioned this before, but she's been trying to make appearances on every show on WTOP this semester, and she's making great progress so far, right? Yep. Erin, what are your thoughts of Check and Smile off your
know,
list?
I'm just so glad that you asked me to do this, so I didn't have to worry about like trying to sneak my way in like through the bum cam or whatever. So I'm just so glad that you invited me here.
No, I'm so glad to have you on as well. Before we get into the video about your life, can you give us a very quick intro of who you are and some of the things you do here?
Yeah, I'm Erin Blank. I'm a cinema major, creative writing minor. I'm a senior, so I'm leaving soon, sadly, but I'm just so glad that I get to finish out doing WTOP and enjoying my time here.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, I have really enjoyed learning about Erin over the last few semesters, and I think you all at home will too. So let's cut the suspense and take a look at a day in Erin's life.
Well, good morning. It is, I believe, around like almost 7. I'm currently on my way to Lake Effect Cafe where I work. And today's going to be a pretty busy day. But yeah, join along with me. I will also specify my voice will sound better once I finally get something to drink. But as for what my day looks like, work, class, work, class, work, and then WTOP. So, should be interesting. So now that I've clocked in, I'm on my way to Murano to grab our baked goods for the day. Typically there's another person with me, but she will be a couple minutes late. No big deal. This is part of working at Lake Effect. You have to constantly be going up and down the hill to grab stuff. Got done working for 5 hours, something like that. But yeah, now I'm in TOP. I'll be here all night. Will I take photos of every show? I'm not sure yet because I'm a procrastinating student and I have to get an essay done and critiques done, but we'll see. Yeah, on top of that, getting an SD card cleared out for sports this upcoming weekend. You know, women's lacrosse senior night, baseball, softball, all of them. So yeah, interesting, stressful, fun times.
Why, hello! What a gorgeous evening here in beautiful, and actually for once, sunny Oswego, New York, and a beautiful evening here to talk some Lakers sports.
Hey, how are ya? Look at that! Woo! More Lake Effect, it's Liquor Showdown. It's about that time. But before we start, I'm getting word from the control room. This is a family show.
So now it's 11:30 at night, and my day is still not done because I unfortunately still have some homework that I would love to get done. Just getting ready for classes tomorrow, sports for the weekend. Crazy but fun times. So let's see how much sleep I'll get. Hopefully I'll get this done quick, but we shall see.
All right, welcome back, everyone. That must have been a pretty busy day, right, Erin?
Oh, it was crazy.
Is your schedule always like that, or?
Typically, it's every like Tuesday, Thursday that it's like back-to-back work class, but only Monday, Wednesday, Friday is really in the morning. Thursday, I picked up a shift that's early in the morning too, but.
Yeah, well, I hope all of you at home were able to learn more about some of the things that Erin does in a typical day in her life. I think excuse me, I think you're really involved with a lot of cool things, and after the break, we're going to dive a little deeper into some of those involvements. See you after these short messages.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna.
Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty.
The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Smile, You're on Camera. Before the break, we watched a day in Erin's life, and I want to take a closer look at some of the things she showed us there now, with her now. So one of the first things we saw in your day was your shift at the Lake Effect Cafe, which is basically the Starbucks on campus. Anyone that knows me knows I would not be having a fun time if I had to wake up that early. How early did you have to wake up?
I typically wake up around 6:25 in the morning, and sometimes it's a little bit later, but I typically wake up at that time to, refresh myself, maybe catch some breakfast, and then take that walk from the village to Penfield Library.
It's a pretty long walk, especially that early in the morning, so I would probably not be having fun there.
It's not fun.
But I want to ask, how long have you been working at Lake Effect, and what's the experience been like so far?
Right now, I'm in my second year working there. I am a group leader, which is like a student manager. That's been about a year and a half. Overall, the experience has been great. Learning the drinks was a little bit difficult, but overall, the people I work with are great, and fast-paced environment, it's a thrill.
Yeah, I know. I always see the line is like pretty much out the door at the Starbucks with people trying to get their coffee in before their classes in the morning. But that was one thing I wanted to ask too. I always imagined it would be hard to memorize all the drink combinations, especially when people are like, add an extra shot of vanilla and no caramel and whatever. So what was the learning process like for that? Or was it hard for you to memorize everything? Or
it was a little hard in the beginning of like memorizing, okay, what needs, especially when it came to Frappuccinos, like, okay, what needs this, what needs that. But luckily we have little ingredient cards, so we can like see, okay, this needs this many pumps, this needs this many shots. And then, you'll get into a routine of like, all right, someone will be on syrup, someone will be on ice, so you just kind of pass it down the line. So it's nice and simple, get the flow going, get the people their coffee.
Yeah, I had no idea that it was a process like that. I kind of just imagined it was like, okay, let me think about one of the 300 different drink combinations you can make.
Yeah.
But you see the orders of students from around campus. Can you tell us what's like one of the most popular ones? My guess would be the strawberry acai with lemonade.
So that's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Another one is a ice white chocolate mocha, especially with sweet cream and caramel drizzle. And then another one that's increasingly been more popular has been an iced caramel macchiato.
Wow. You're making me hungry. I think I might stop by tomorrow morning.
I'll be there.
I think everyone that comes to visit you at Lake Effect always gets a drink made with love. That's
So
the
much
That's the
love.
Erin Blank way. I know you really take pride in your work there. And one story I have, Erin kept telling me, Mia, come visit me, and I'll make you a drink. And I was like, okay. One morning I wasn't feeling that great. I woke up. I remember I had a sore throat or something, and you had recommended the medicine ball,
Yep.
which is. Can you remind me of the
It's
ingredients again?
Peach Tranquility. It's like a mint tea, steamed lemonade with honey, and yeah.
Yeah, so I remember I ordered it. I walked out of the library. It was a beautiful sunny day. It was like 7 a.m. because I had to visit you at the morning shift before my class. And I remember I just took a lap around campus, and I was just like, wow. And it made me feel homesick for some reason. Like I had just gotten tea when I was sick at home. So I was like, wow, that's the power of the Erin Blank drink at Starbucks.
There's so much love that Erin Blank provides.
Yeah, well, why do you love to craft every drink to perfection at Lake
Well,
Effect?
you know, I think of it in a way that, you know, you spend so much money to come to Lake Effect and get a drink, so why not give all the love that I can? And, you know, if that includes maybe an extra pump of this, an extra, you know, a little bit of light ice or whatever, I'll do it just to make someone happy.
Oh, that's so nice. Wow. Well, another thing we looked at in your video too was your experience in your intermediate graphic storytelling class. Can you give us a general overview of what are some of the things you're doing in there? I know we got a quick look there, but.
Yeah, so the intermediate class is basically we got to collaborate with this digital illustration class. And we first started with the authors coming up with a story, which we were given cryptids or like urban legends. We came up with a story, we got paired with an artist, and then from then on, we gave the artists whatever idea. They came up with drawings, and it was very back and forth. And from then on, now we're making a whole book, and it's going to get published.
Oh, yeah, I'm so jealous of that class. I know I've been asking you about it throughout the semester, but how far have you gotten with the project so far? I know because the end of the semester is approaching, so it must be publication and whatever.
Yeah, we are very close. We are just kind of going over making sure everyone's names are spelled correctly, all of our dialogue spelled correctly, and now it's being sent off to be printed.
And what was the process like collaborating with the artists? I know you were assigned an artist, right? And so was it hard to kind of, you had to think about their capabilities and what they could draw, their style, or what was that process like for you?
It was very interesting sitting down with that artist to be like, all right, here's my story, show me like what you have and I'll work around you. And luckily they were very interested in mine. They wanted a more serious story, which I provided. And we were just very back and forth of like, okay, here's my drawing, does that work? Yeah, could you maybe change this a little bit? But they were very cooperative and I was very happy with that.
Yeah, that's very lucky because I feel like there could be some horror stories coming out of that one. But I would have really enjoyed to be in a class like that because I feel like I could have been the artsy side and we could have been a great pair together. I know you're a big fan of the horror genre. We love to talk about horror movies together. So what about horror interests you so much?
I think it's hard because a lot of horror has changed. So I'm very into psychological, but also the slashers are great. And I think it's just like the element of frightening someone through images is so interesting, but also like amazing at the same point. Like how a director, especially with a certain genre, could really take an image that makes it so scary but also so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
I know one director we're both a fan of. I know I have to bring it up. If anyone at home is familiar with Ari Aster, that's how you pronounce his name, right? He directed movies like Midsommar and Hereditary, and he has the new one coming out, Beau is Afraid.
Yes.
But I feel like your point about the beauty and the serene qualities and then also this darkness was very typical of